I'm Riley Jenkins. I'm at Domo. I'm a principal SRE and FinOps architect. So I sit at the intersection of both cost optimization and system performance, scalability. And then I'm also involved with the FinOps Foundation. I'm a TAC member. That's been super fun. And then I'm also a maintainer on the Focus project. Really early on, and you see a lot of people that are involved with Focus, or they wanted something like this for a long time. It's been a thing. So we've always been kind of looking at it and saying, hey, it would be really cool if there was this data structure that we could all, use, and it was a common data structure. So from the very beginning, asking people, hey, what do you think about this? And then now, fast forward now, I'm helping write some of the content of, attending meetings and debating with people about what the structure should be, what the columns name should be, which is surprisingly been one of the more contentious things. What do we name this thing? And yeah, I've been spending a lot of time trying to think of it, especially from a data perspective and a data architecture perspective, because that's my bread and butter. Looking at the structure, defining what structure makes sense from all the use cases we need to balance, and then trying to come up with a specification that matches those use cases. Even before Focus was a thing, there was this desire that I had and lots had where we wanted a unified way to receive billing data. Because you look at all the different providers, whether they're sending you a PDF or a complex data set, there's not a unified way to do it. So there's a lot of really low-level work to just get something that's reportable. So the ideas of Focus really started for me as saying, hey, I really want something that's a specification that I can use. And so eventually that came into being able to help write that specification into the Focus project that is today. I think one of the things that has been one of our true norths, but has also been really hard to tackle, is we have a very broad set of use cases. And those use cases not just represent the practitioner need, but the Focus use cases also need to look at does it make sense for the CSPs? Does it match their business model? Different companies have different pricing models, and the way that they even think about how they charge their customers for their product. All the way from the most complicated billing model that has a bunch of different attributes to it to just a simple email that you receive once a month that you've got to go parse. It's a PDF. Keeping that in mind while creating a specification that matches all that has been challenging, but it's also really been rewarding to be able to point towards that and really focus on the practitioner need. When we think about the groups that use Focus, you've got your finance group. They're really dedicated to looking at, they have, cash basis analysis where they're looking at the cash outlay, the payments. Then you have accrual based, but with effective cost, I'm an engineer. I facilitate engineering to own and analyze and change their cost profile. And so for me, it's effective cost. Effective cost, the whole purpose of effective cost is to take amortization and take upfront scenarios and put them in a column so that you can have a unified column to say, okay, even though you paid for this thing upfront, the effective cost of it per this unit of time for this resource is this amount. That's my favorite, but I am totally biased. For me, you look at the major providers. They're giving their flavor to the data. They're giving their native. That's where I would start, because reading the specification is important, and everybody should read the specification. But if you can, look at those the native offerings or the converters, and actually look at the data, and then have the specification, you can start looking at the data, start analyzing it, build charts on it. That really gets you familiar, because a lot of us in the industry have muscle memory around whether it's GCP's output data or Azure's or AWS's. They have that. They know that fairly well. But being able to take two of those and put them together, or even just one, getting some muscle memory and some exercise around using it, that not only is going to help them adopt it, but it's also going to help us know things that we need to look at for future versions. Yeah, so we use it today. We're pulling in data from our providers and converting it. Some of that is fairly rudimentary, kind of helping design some of it, but then others comes right from the provider. so that we can start saying, hey, what does this look like? Is it one for us to replace? Where are we with that? So yeah, we use it. It's a limited fashion, but we're hoping to get that expanded much more broadly as the providers adopt Focus. This is the beginning. There are going to be use cases that don't match. There's going to be use cases that are missing. There's going to be capabilities that I'd like to think that we have all of them, but I know we don't. So if you have feedback, please provide it. Kick the tires on it. Let us know, because the more feedback we have, the better fit it will be to the use cases that are in the community.